third-party companies like Meta, Google, Amazon, all of them started to create third-party centralized data storage solutions. There's this YouTuber whose name is McSkillet. That was his name. He had around 1 million subscribers on YouTube for CSGO specifically. He made a bunch of videos of him playing the game and like giving advice and stuff like that. He had some, like, I think over $400,000 worth of in-game assets at 18 years old. Crypto gives us another option so that we don't have to use banks. So in the minute we have all these big companies like Amazon, insert company name here, that now accepts crypto.
Check it out.
Well, what does that do? We no longer have to funnel money through banks to go to these large entities.
So, Ryan, thank you for joining us today on the Millionaires Mic. We're really excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. So, for those of you guys who are new here, Ryan is very big in the cryptocurrency world. So, we're going to be diving into all things crypto, how you got here, and just, dissecting every aspect of that. So, I guess to kick it off, do you want to explain either how you got into crypto first, or do you want to explain what crypto is for people that don't know what that is?
So I'll dive into how I got into crypto first.
Okay.
So I got into crypto back in 2017. My friend Matt told me about it. I just graduated college and I didn't have much money, but he was like, "Hey, I'm going to put money into this Bitcoin thing and Ethereum and Litecoin on Coinbase," because at the time you could only buy from those 3 coins on that exchange. Those were the only 3. And then they launched Bitcoin Cash and went crazy. But anyways, those were the days. And I got in right in the middle of that bull run in 2017. Mm-hmm. And my money just started, my peanuts of money started just going up, going up, going up. I was like, oh my gosh, there's got to be more to this than just digital money. Like, this is deeper than that, or it's another tulip bloom incident. I don't know. We're going to find out either way. But ever since like high school, when I first started thinking about money, I was looking for like, there's got to be another .com boom opportunity. Mm-hmm. So then when the price increase started to happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin and all the other ones, I had kind of like a moment where I was like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is my opportunity at a .com boom. With the rapid innovation and technology that's taking place, there's no way the .com boom was the last paradigm shift opportunity for life-changing wealth. So then when I started to see the price go up, I dove into it more, and I found a video called A Tour Around the Inside of a Secret Chinese Bitcoin Mining Facility. And I go, okay. YouTube rabbit hole got me here. Yeah. I'm here for a reason. So I decided to click on it, start watching it. And I see on a certain like screen grab of the video, they end up saying that they spend $60,000 a month on electricity to mine Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, well, I have like $600 to my name right now. So they're doing pretty well for themselves to be able to spend 60 grand a month. Yeah. What are they must know something that I don't, because they got to that point. And now they're choosing to put that money towards Bitcoin. And it's 2017, and nobody in the world really knows what it is. What do they know that I don't? Which is a question I think that more people should ask themselves when something doesn't make sense to them. Yeah. Instead of immediately jumping to, oh, they're so stupid for putting their money into that.
It's a scam.
It's a scam. Well, maybe they just know something that you don't.
Right.
Is the big thing. And when you have that thought process as opposed to the more negative thought process, it allows for a more exploratory thought process to dive into learning. And so that's what I did. And then upon doing so, I realized that blockchain, crypto, Web3, all of that is here as the next paradigm shift because it's solving the problem that the internet created. Yeah. And that then goes into what it is.
Okay. Yeah, because then I was going to ask you, I'm like, when you hear they're like mining for crypto. Mm-hmm. In my head, I'm like thinking they're like in the mines, like looking for diamonds or something, like as if it's like Snow White or something. Like what are they mining for? Is this like something that exists? Like what is it that they're looking for?
So I think they take this mining thing to compare because a lot of people call Bitcoin the digital gold. Mm-hmm. So that's why they took this region.
See, that's a good tip because I'm thinking when people are like, we're mining for Bitcoin, I'm like, are you guys like just deep down in the earth?
No,
just,
but you
like-
can explain more what is
Which
mining.
I was like, I know that's not
Deep
the case.
in the center of the earth is
Yeah.
where Bitcoin is actually manufactured.
Like no one needs to know the real secrets.
That's the secret.
But I knew it was like digital currency. So I'm like, how are you mining for something that like is digital? Like that doesn't even. Okay, well that's good to know. Digital gold. That makes a lot
Yep.
of sense.
Yep.
But yeah, like after explaining what is a crypto, you can explain a little bit about mining and why like we won't go into the staking, like proof of stake, just taking proof of.
Thomas is a pro with this stuff. Thomas
Oh yeah,
understands
I
this
asked
stuff
my
pretty
crypto.
deeply.
My
Yeah,
crypto
yeah.
questions go to him first. I'm like, can you just? And then he'll explain it. I'm like, can I just give you money? And can you just do it for me?
Get that a
Because
lot.
Yeah.
I've lost you now.
Yeah. So before explaining crypto, I think it's more important to understand blockchain first because it's almost like trying to go to algebra before you learn pre-algebra, which is one reason why so many people get so confused with cryptocurrency because if you're not trying to learn Web3 in a structured fashion, then you're going to end up trying to learn about ZK technology and liquidity pools before you even know what a blockchain is.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So that would be like trying to do trigonometry before pre-al. So I haven't said the word pre-al in years. Wow. Oh my gosh. Blast to the past. So anyways, so blockchain, the best way to go through it is actually to understand the problem that it solves. I believe that's the best way to learn anything is by understanding the problem before you go over the solution. And the problem that blockchain solves is the data storage problem on the internet. Right. So when the internet was first created, we had Web 1. Web 1 is when we were just able to look at different, websites. We couldn't like things. We couldn't comment on things. We couldn't post blog posts. We couldn't upload our YouTube videos. You couldn't do any of that stuff. It was just like watching a newspaper, a digital newspaper.
Yeah.
And then Web 2 came out, which allowed us to provide inputs into the internet. Well, when you can provide inputs into the internet, that input is data. Right? That data has to be stored somewhere. The internet doesn't have a native way for us to store data online. So what happened? Well, there was a problem that needed to be solved, data storage. So then third-party companies like Meta, Google, Amazon, all of them started to create third-party centralized data storage solutions. Well, that's all fine and great.
Like a
until
cloud
it's
type
not.
thing, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like Google Drive,
Right.
those are solutions as well. Amazon Web Services, any like centralized like these companies have like massive server farms that store a lot of this data. Like I don't know if you guys have ever like Google Meta server farm. It's absurd.
Yeah.
Like
It's like a
miles.
city.
It must
It's
be
a
Yeah,
city.
huge,
miles of just computers that are like in the middle of nowhere
Yeah.
where they can get cheap power. And that's where they're storing a lot of our data. But the problem with that is that when they store our data, they have full ownership of that data.
Right.
So that's the information about your email, phone number, social security number, credit card information, all of that. They own that data. And then we just have to trust them to protect that data. And we've ran into many instances when they haven't,
Right.
right?
Or they use those data to.
Or it's leaked.
Or they
Must
they
be,
leak
exactly.
the data,
Or
they sell the
hacking,
data,
yeah.
they do all these different things with the data that we never gave them permission to do, except we did.
Yes. Consent.
Yeah, the
We
consent.
gave consent in that long form,
That nobody reads.
the terms and conditions
Nobody
that
reads.
nobody reads.
Check the box and move on.
But in there, it literally says we can sell your data, we can do this, we can do that. But there's 15 pages, 20 pages, so we never read it, right? It's crazy. Who would have thought that like years down the road we'd find out that, oh man, maybe there was something that was wrong with that.
Yeah. Like, oh, guess they know a lot more information about me than I thought they did.
Yeah, but they have a lot of leverage because we want to use those services and there's no other solution,
Right.
right? Until now, which is blockchain. Blockchain allows for us to have decentralized data storage, which would allow us to have basically like you can think of a crypto wallet as like your safety deposit box on the blockchain. So
Okay.
you have your own little like, mailbox in the blockchain that you can store your cryptocurrency and your NFTs, which are really the only two things that are, that you can have.
I mean,
crypto and
You
NFTs.
will have SBT, like soul bond token. Not talking about
Yeah,
that now.
which is an NFT.
It is an NFT, but you
Yeah.
cannot But yeah,
Exactly.
you're right.
And
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
like master control. It's not like, oh, Chase can see into
No.
this or
No.
anything. Yeah,
Just
it's like
you,
completely you.
because
Yeah.
you need to have like the seed phrase that is
Exactly. And then
no-
your seed phrase is like the key
Mhm.
that unlocks it. And if somebody else gets your seed phrase, well, somebody else can get into your crypto wallet and take everything in your safe deposit box that's on the blockchain.
normally it's too late.
Yes.
When that happens.
Too late. A lot of safety measures that you can put into place to make sure that doesn't happen. But so that's blockchain in a nutshell.
Mhm.
But then, so blockchain is a form of a distributed ledger technology, DLT. There's other types. There's like acyclic graph or something like that.
Yeah,
Direct
yeah.
acyclic graph.
Yeah.
That's another one. But for all intents and purposes, the more important thing is that just the most popular blockchain or DLT is blockchain, right? That's Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana. Those are all blockchains. So blockchain is the foundational component of what allows for us to add superpowers to the internet to solve the problem that the internet created. And that's what enables cryptocurrency to be a tool that we can now leverage. So cryptocurrency, if I were to really dumb it down, what is cryptocurrency? I would say it is a new tool for businesses to utilize in their processes to solve problems that's never been possible before. They can now create a currency that is trustless.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do I mean by that? Trustless currency, meaning that we can put trust in the currency based around the economics of the currency.
All the
right?
politics.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, yes, the value of these currencies can go up and down based upon, social sentiment of these cryptocurrencies. But if a company creates a cryptocurrency, the other factor that we don't have to worry about is how many cryptocurrencies are they going to have, right? The economics of it, which we call the tokenomics.
Mm-hmm.
So that allows for us to differentiate something like, Fortnite V-Bucks or Chase, rewards points or Delta Sky Miles from something like cryptocurrency. Because that's kind of like a real world, relatable, like World of Warcraft gold, stuff like
Right.
that. It's kind of like a relatable question that I get a lot of times, which is like, how's crypto different from, the video game currency that I have or something like that?
Yeah.
Well, the main thing is that you don't know what the max supply of these different in-game, cryptocurrency or in-game pseudo currencies really are, which then prevents you from being able to trust the value of it.
Correct.
Because there's two aspects of what makes the value, the price of a cryptocurrency or any asset that you would trade, which is supply and demand.
Mhm.
And if you don't know what the supply is, well, 50% of the variable that actually makes up what makes the price is out the window. You have no idea what it is, so you can't trust it. So that's what creates the trustless ability within cryptocurrency, because you don't need trust,
Got it.
because trust is inherent in the blockchain because it was built there, and blockchains are immutable, meaning that they cannot be changed once the data is on it.
Got it. Okay. I see that.
And also, just to complete, it's like, for example, for the V-Buck, you cannot transfer them to dollars. You can buy with dollar, but you can never sell them
Exactly.
back. And you don't hold them. Like if Fortnite, it's what is the company behind Epic Game?
Yep.
Epic Game say, I don't like you. You don't have V-Bucks anymore.
Right.
You're
Done.
done.
Right.
It's not the case for crypto where you own the crypto.
Yep.
Got
Exactly.
it. Okay.
So like when you buy the V-Bucks from Epic Games for Fortnite, right? They still hold those V-Bucks, if you will, in their own centralized system. It doesn't leave their system to go to you directly, which means that if it was a cryptocurrency and that happened, if they shut down your access, you'd still have your V-Bucks.
Got it. Okay.
And this is actually really massive. Like, this has never been possible before
Yeah.
in the world.
Never.
And this is another level of a problem that the internet created. Like, in the physical world, think about this. In the physical world, if a company wants to give me a coupon or sell me something,
Mhm.
well, they actually have to transfer ownership physically to me.
Right.
Mhm.
In the internet world, you don't have to do that because it's it's like a centralized system. So they just say, yeah, you have access to this World of Warcraft gold. Yeah, you have this,
Right.
right? You have access to the Fortnite V-Bucks, right? Yeah. But then the minute, if they want to take it away from you, they can do that because they never actually gave it to you in the first place.
Right. They have that full authority.
And that's a
to
level
make
of
that.
control
Right.
that's never been possible for businesses to ever have. And it's too much control.
Mhm.
A great example is, I started going on a tangent with this stuff. A great example of
We're
this
here for the tangents. It's okay.
is there's this game called, Counter-Strike, CSGO.
Oh yeah.
Very popular game.
Someone's a bit familiar with the games.
Spend too much time on it.
There's this game called CSGO. And in CSGO, they actually created this like in-game economy to where like you can buy and sell guns with real-world money. And some of these guns are going for like 6 figures, like crazy.
Wow.
Just for you to understand, it's not just guns. It's also like wrapping. Like you have like a pink gun, and
Yeah.
you know, like
Oh, like how you
Camouflage
can
on your
like
gun.
how, like how you can wrap a car almost. You can do that with
Yes.
that. Okay.
yeah,
Exactly.
But some guns are super rare, so that's why they are super expensive.
Okay.
So it becomes like a flex to be running around with a rare gun.
Oh, you have the K3
Yeah,
500.
exactly.
And
So like
one.
somebody will see you with that gun and be like,
God.
that's a rich mother.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, okay.
Or like I think you can also buy like helmets and like outfits and stuff like
Yeah.
that to run around with.
Knife.
It's like designer in
Yeah,
the video
knives.
game.
That's exactly it. It's the same. It's the same thought process.
Different flex. but
Because it
okay.
all just creates like a like, oh gosh, what's the term? Like a system of like who's who, right?
Like hierarchy almost.
Hierarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
societal
Exactly.
standard almost.
Within the
Yeah,
game
okay.
ecosystem, yeah. So they created like marketplaces to where you can actually buy and sell the weapons, the skins, all of that stuff with your peers inside the game. However, every single sale doesn't go from like person to person. It goes person to game to person. So it uses the the game as the intermediary to facilitate all the trades. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means that all of the control is with that one entity. So, to bring up a real world story of where this was a serious issue, there was, I say was because he's, anyways, there's this YouTuber whose name is McSkillet. That was
Okay.
his name. He had around 1 million subscribers on YouTube for CSGO specifically. He made a bunch of videos of him playing the game and like giving advice and stuff like that. I didn't really see it. This is just a story I heard. And he had some, like, I think over $400,000 worth of in-game assets at 18 years old.
Wow.
And then I don't know exactly what happened and why, but CSGO banned his account.
I think I didn't watch the video, but I think what happened is that he was trading the assets, but he had like kind of not a hack, but he has a way to know which asset will cost a lot. I think it was data mining to know like, oh, this asset is just like one on it of its kind. So I know it will be super, super expensive back in the day. I think it was something like this, but yeah, like CSGO just shut
So
it
he
down.
had an edge.
Yes.
He was like
Basically.
hacking against them
Yeah.
essentially. Like
Not
I know
very
it's worth-
hacking because it was anybody could do it. You just need to have the knowledge.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, anyways, his account got banned.
Mhm.
Well, when his account got banned, since he never really owned any of those in-game assets,
Yeah.
he lost all $400,000 of what he had wrapped up in that game.
God.
Now, let's also think about it. He put money into the game to be able to buy things on his own.
Right.
So they effectively stole money from him.
Right.
And then this was an 18-year-old. He spiraled mentally. He got into his McLaren one day, drove on the wrong side of the highway, and he got into a head-on collision and killed a mother and her daughter
It's crazy.
Oh
Dead.
my God.
because of the depression and the spiraling that caused him to go to that point. And if those in-game assets were NFTs, then he would have owned them all himself, and he could have just offloaded and sold everything, still not had access to the game, still not had access to do any of that. He could have offloaded, sold all of those in-game items, switched over to play a different game, something, and then those two people would still be alive today.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that is the type of conversation that we need to be having more when we're talking about crypto and NFTs and the importance of this technology, because these centralized entities have gained a level of power that can cause serious issues.
Yeah. I mean, I like, not the story, obviously, but I like how you've kind of brought the importance of like why it's so important for you to kind of have full control of the money that you put in, not a separate entity, because obviously there's an array of things that could go wrong, like you get banned or they don't want to have you as a customer anymore,
Yeah.
whatever the case is, and they can just take your money essentially, and then you're kind of stuck. So I feel like that's, people don't always put that level of emphasis on it, of like it's your money and it will always be your money, whether you choose to continue being at this company or on this game or whatever that aspect is. You have access to that money no matter what.
Like, think about that. But today, if you go to the bank and you want to withdraw, like, I don't know, like $100,000, they're gonna.
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can, and they're gonna ask you why. The legit answer is like, it's my money. I do whatever I want with it. But no, a third party entity will be asking question, which is not normal. That's why also crypto is like very important, and start like that. Start being very popular on the internet like that. First on the dark web, and secondly on like more mainstream web, let's say, because you own your data, you own your money, you own what you buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never been possible in history to sovereignly own your own digital money before cryptocurrency.
Right.
So which also creates a very unhealthy dynamic between the people of the world and banks, because banks have a lot of leverage, because we have to use them if we want to buy things off of Amazon.
Right.
Right?
Right.
We literally have to. So since there's this forced relationship between us and banks, it gives banks this level of power and control to where they can screw us.
Yeah.
And then we can't do anything about it,
Right.
especially if all the banks are screwing us.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, what are you going to do? Go to the other bank that's also going to screw you?
Exactly.
Oh, go ahead. Be our guest. Because, like, we run into a switch situation. I remember, like, a few years back, I went to go pull out money because I had to get a cashier's check to pay for my rent a while back. And they actually, like, charged me, like, $10 to get a cashier's check to pull out my own money.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? Why are you charging me for this?
Yeah.
And then and the banker, she goes, oh, yeah, that's just our policy. That's just our policy. I'm like, okay. She's like, I can get you a water, though. And I was like, I'll take 2.
Make it 3, actually, so I can break even on the transaction cost of this.
That's what I said. And then another example is when I was first getting into business back in like 2018, I was having this battle with the banks of like, if my bank account would go below like $1,500, they'd charge me like $20 a month to keep my money in the bank. And I just remember thinking, I'm a new business owner trying to figure shit out, and you're going to charge me to hold money, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
Like, why are you charging me? It's ridiculous because you're giving them your money, and then they're making more money with your money through rehypothecation. Right?
Yeah.
So why do you charge me to use my money to make more money? It doesn't make any sense.
No sense.
No.
So it's like a broken
I mean, it's
system.
just so they can make more money, and then
Yeah.
you're on the other end being like, but it's mine. They're like, I don't care.
Yeah. So then crypto gives us another option so that we don't have to use banks. So in the minute we have all these big companies like Amazon, like, you know, insert company name here. It's a big company that now accepts crypto.
Look it up.
Well, what does that do? We no longer have to funnel money through banks to go to these large entities. Tesla already accepts Bitcoin as payment, right? So the minute that continues to happen, it levels the playing field and it creates less of a forced relationship, which then takes the leverage away from banks, and then we can have a more healthy customer experience with banks is the long-term play.
Right.
So that's not a forced relationship.
Got it.
And also for you to understand good, it's that Bitcoin, for example, not all the crypto, but Bitcoin itself, nobody owns it. We don't even know who creates Bitcoin.
Yeah, because you can't even have like one Bitcoin or something. Like everyone has like a part of it or something, right?
You can hold more. You can hold as much as you want, technically.
Oh,
As long as you
Very
buy. It's just
Yeah.
like, if you have this money, like, give it to me. But yeah, right now it's very expensive. But it's just like, you can have like, there is just 21 Bitcoin and it will never be more.
Oh, so like when they created that blockchain, they were like, "There's going to be 21," and that's
Yes, when the Bitcoin blockchain was created, they hard coded in the blockchain
Okay, got it.
the economics of the token. Remember I was talking about earlier?
Yes, yeah.
The problem with like World of Warcraft Gold, stuff like that, is
Right.
that you don't know the economics of that currency. Well, when Bitcoin was created, it was hard coded in the blockchain that there can only ever be 21 million Bitcoin ever
Mhm.
in existence. And then they created the system of how new Bitcoin gets issued into the system through mining, which is the individuals that run large computer processing systems with ASICs typically. And then that allows transactions to go through. So
Got it. Okay.
yes, so that's Bitcoin in a
And
nutshell.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, like the US dollar, you don't know the supply, and
Right.
the supply will always change because they print a lot.
Exactly.
They cannot do that with Bitcoin. And also, I don't know if you know that, but there will be never 21 million Bitcoin because people lost, they got robbed. Like there
Oh,
there
okay.
are a lot of stuff that happen, and I think the max we can exchange will be, I think, 17, 18, something like that.
Well, eventually Bitcoin will become like artificially deflationary because
Correct. Yeah.
And I was gonna ask you that if it's like, can it be affected by inflation, like how the dollar is, and affected or
So,
like any other currency
technically
is?
Bitcoin is inflationary,
Okay.
but barely. Like,
Yeah.
and every like 4 or so years, we go through something called a halvening, which is when the rewards that are paid out to the Bitcoin miners, which are just think of them as the people that allow transactions to go through,
Okay.
right? Put simply, every time they allow a transaction to go through, they get paid out in new Bitcoin that is issued into the world through the Bitcoin from the Bitcoin blockchain,
Okay.
right? So when that happens, that's technically inflation taking place.
Yes.
However, there's already, what is it, like 19 million to 20 million Bitcoin that are out there? I don't know what the exact amount
Yeah, I
is.
don't know. I don't know.
But there's
It's
like
crazy.
19 to 20 million Bitcoin that are out right now. And I think it's like 19 something. And there can only ever be 21 million. So there can only be 2 million more Bitcoin put into the world.
Okay.
And that amount of what's issued with every single time a transaction's processed will be cut in half about every 4 years when the halvening takes place.
Okay.
So with that process of it getting cut in half, cut in half, cut in half, cut in half, that means if we cut it in half 4 more times from right now, they're getting paid out, what would that be, 12.5%
Yeah.
less
Mhm.
than what they're getting paid out today?
Right.
So if that happens, then for 8, 12, 16 years from now, the inflation is cut down to 12.5%
I
of
see.
what it is right now. It's already not high.
Got it. Okay.
And there's already
So
a
it's kind of
capped
like
supply.
correcting every time they kind of do
Yeah,
this.
well, I mean, and
thing.
at the end of the day, like the inflation's like so minimal
Hmm.
because it'll be over 100 years before we even get to a max supply of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And since we like psychologically,
Mhm.
we already know that there's a capped supply, the inflation doesn't really affect things too much. And when I say that it can eventually be deflationary, I'll explain that a little bit more. Once we reach a point where I believe that we'll eventually reach a point where more people are losing their Bitcoin due to improper storage because they don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
than that what's actually being issued on a day-to-day basis. So it's not technically deflationary because it's not going away,
Mhm.
but more Bitcoin will become lost to where it just never moves because people don't know how to get to it.
Got
Because they'll get a seed phrase and then they'll lose the seed phrase and then they'll have something happen. They'll have a reset on their phone. They'll lose access. I don't know, something.
That happened to me.
Yeah.
Not Bitcoin, but like MetaMask, my first one. And it's lost.
it. How did you
Gone for
lose
good.
it?
God forget. Because the seed phrase is like very long, right?
Yeah.
So, and most of the time, when you go into DeFi, we'll talk about that later. But when you go into DeFi, you don't have one wallet. You have multiple one.
Multiple.
So I lost on 10. I think I lost one wallet. It's okay.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
accept that. And it was not a lot of money. It was just like 50,000. No, I'm kidding.
Like it was just like 500. It was just $500,000.
No, I
like
think
it's
it
no
was
big
like
deal.
$50 or 500. It was not that much. So,
yeah.
and it was USDT. So
Yeah.
it's okay. I accept this loss.
It's a nice dinner that you guys can't go have.
Exactly.
I know.
But now,
Beat his ass.
I know. I'm like, I want that back though.
but now I have all my seed phrase pretty stored. Don't worry.
Perfect.
Oh my God.
Sometimes you need PTSD and trauma to
That's
get over
true.
it.
I guess.
100% true.
The hardest lessons learned, I guess.
Correct.
Okay, that was gonna bring me to my next thing of like, what's the difference between the coins, and how do you know what coin you should put money into? Because there's Bitcoin, there's Dogecoin, there's look at me knowing coin. Those are the only two I know.
Which is crazy. Honestly, what surprised me is like you name Bitcoin and right after Dogecoin. That is crazy.
What do you think about the thoughts behind that
Exactly.
created?
I'm like, wow, how is that
Didn't
possible?
even say Ethereum.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that one too.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm like, oh
Oh
no.
man, meme coins are so.
I think it's a
powerful.
little obvious where I get my information from when it comes to crypto.
I mean, I feel Dogecoin got very.
Memes, Twitter.
Yeah, I feel Dogecoin got very popular with Elon Musk. You know, because
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still possible, but it was like, oh yeah, you could buy Tesla with Bitcoin and Dogecoin.
Doge.
But I don't know if it's still possible now. But yeah, that's why it got popular because basically it's useless. Like it's just a meme
Mhm.
coin and does. I love the way we called in 2024 we called them meme coin.
Yep.
Yeah.
I used to trade in 2021 and we used to call them shit coin,
Yeah.
which was more true. It's shit. Like
I've had a change of heart.
Oh, okay.
I know. I saw that.
I actually like. Hard to say.
I know.
Oh God, I'm in front of a microphone. I'm going to say this. I am turning around to meme coins, and I will explain the reason.
Yeah, please do.
And I still also want to answer your question. So, meme coins are tokenized attention.
It worked. Doge
Exactly. It
is
worked.
so cute.
Exactly. But so when you buy, let's actually compare this to a stock,
Okay.
right? When I'm buying Tesla stock, which I don't actually own, full crypto. So if I'm buying Tesla stock, what makes the price of Tesla stock go up?
Supply,
Demand.
demand, but mostly the result of the company.
Those are secondary factors. Because look at GameStop stock.
Oh, like the value, the actual value of the
No, it's
stock.
it's the demand, attention.
It's the perception.
Yeah, exactly.
Perception of do other people think that the price of the stock will also go up?
Yeah.
If yes, I buy and then I wait for it to go up.
Mm-hmm.
If no, I don't buy.
Or
Right.
sell, if I have them.
Yes, or sell. Exactly. So the performance of a company doesn't actually make a difference on whether the price of the coin goes up or not. It's people seeing that the company's performance is going up
Yeah.
that tells them that they want to buy the stock. And since there's more buy pressure, then the price goes up.
Mm-hmm.
More people buying, that
Yeah.
means the price of the stock goes up. So you can have a stock that does incredibly well, but nobody knows it exists.
Right.
They could be making money hand over fist, but nobody knows that the stock is actually there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the stock price doesn't go up. That's why we have discrepancies between valuations of companies and there's a different word.
PR.
PR something.
The
PE, the PE ratio.
yeah, the
Yeah,
price
yeah, yeah.
earning ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. You can tell I'm not a stock guy.
Yeah.
I'm a crypto guy. The PE ratio or something. Price to earnings ratio. That's what it is. Boom, nailed it.
Yeah.
Good job. So it doesn't actually have to do with the value of the company, really. It's the perception of it.
Mhm.
Well, translate that to meme coins. If I think meme coins are going to get more attention, if I think the vision of Dogecoin, the memetic appeal of Dogecoin is going to go up, then I can front run the attention. If I catch the social sentiment of, wow, I could see this catching on and this getting a lot of eyeballs, then I can front run that because other people are also going to buy it if they think it's going to get more attention. So imagine if like Family Guy had a coin, right? And you found the Family Guy TV show before anybody else. And you're like, this TV show is going to blow up, right? It's going to absolutely blow up because I think it's hilarious. And I found it first. Well, let me buy their coin that has no value to it behind it, right? So that means it's not a security, right?
No. Oh, no.
It essentially makes it like a commodity if you
Correct.
really think about it. If a meme coin was to be scrutinized by the SEC,
It's a commodity.
they don't promise anything behind it. It's a commodity.
Right.
So it's no different from like, it sounds crazy, no different from gold.
Yeah.
I mean, well, think about it, because gold is just a shiny rock.
Yeah.
We only buy the shiny rock because we think other people are going to want to buy the shiny rock at a higher price than us.
Right.
So if we think that we find this funny meme, if you will, and we think other people are going to find it funny and it's going to spread, that means that other people are also going to think that they can front run the attention. So this is we are birthing the attention economy through meme coins. And like I always say, it took me actually maturing as an investor to understand meme coins and the value behind it, because you're just front running the attention. If you think it's going to get more attention, you buy into it, and then as attention grows, boom, you can make money from it.
Yeah, I feel all this change happens with GameStop, which is now a meme stock, if we could call him like this. Like it's a meme stock, because before GameStop was like a very, very powerful company. It just lost a lot of like profits because the industry is not the best. And you have this guy that became a legend. And
Roaring Kitty.
Yeah, he became a legend because he just had this kind of like thought, but like this makes no sense, and he had a big community, so attention. It just create this whole train on GameStop, and you have AMC as well, right? At the time, now AMC is not in the loop for because right now they are buying a lot. Like it's like, let's say, bull, but I don't think it will last for GameStop. But for the meme coin, I think it's a new trend. And what it was funny is that back in the day, it was on BSC, Binance Smart Chain, and for some reason, everybody migrate to Solana. Do you know why?
So the user experience on Solana is just better.
Yeah.
If you look at the tool that you use to purchase through, through the Solana blockchain, Jupiter is one of the most popular tools that people are using. There's also like stuff like Photon and BullX. There's a bunch of them now.
Yeah.
BullX is incredible, by the way. But Jupiter is just a better user experience. So it's just more user friendly. And also, a lot of liquidity was flowing into Solana. So, like, if you look at the TVL metrics of Solana versus Binance Smart Chain, you could just see Solana rocketing up in comparison to Binance Smart Chain. So, since a lot of attention was flowing into the Solana ecosystem, that created the, attention going there. So then people started to build there, and then they just capitalized on that easily, just because attention was already there. Now, I think Solana's doing an incredible job of their marketing as well.
Yeah,
because
not very good.
What's incredible is like all these other blockchains are still trying to market like, we have the fastest blockchain, we have this, we have this consensus mechanism algorithm that nobody's ever found before. We have blah 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 blah. But Solana has kind of reached a point where they don't have to do that. And now what they're doing is they're actually marketing the dApps that are built on Solana. So they're like saying, hey, look, you can do this on Solana. And then they're actually pushing apps built on it because they're real world use cases that people can understand, right? Imagine if iOS was trying to market, come build on Apple iOS to retail. Right? We have Xcode that you can use. We have all of these developer tools that you guys can use. But majority of the people in the world aren't developers.
Right.
So we don't understand these things.
And we don't care.
We don't care. But what really promoted the Apple App Store apps like Instagram,
Mhm.
app like Facebook, all these apps that people wanted
Yeah.
that they could only get on the Apple App Store. So then they had to get an iPhone,
Right.
or they just wanted to use Snapchat and they didn't want to use the bad camera quality that Androids have.
Hmm.
Hey,
What was that?
calm down.
That was crazy. Yeah.
He's like proud with his Android,
No, it's
ruining
like-
our group
no.
chats all the time.
Always. Who are
Hey.
you?
Hey, I'm a guy that every time you need a picture, you ask for my phone. That's who I am.
Ooh.
But then when you send it, it gets compressed.
Yeah,
and
we
it
call
gets-
that
The
we call that
microphone.
we call that WhatsApp.
Yeah.
WhatsApp compress all the time.
Exactly.
Picture. That's a problem.
Um,
No, but I understand pretty good.
but yeah, Solana's their business development and marketing team has really just done a great job of like actually speaking
Yeah.
to retail in a way that they need to be spoken to. Unlike a lot of the other blockchain protocols out there, like Cosmos. I love them, but
oh, I love Cosmos.
marketing is awful.
I know
Sorry, guys.
because they are developer.
Start listening to Yoni.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. No, but I also feel what happened is that we arrive at a point where all the blockchain they were like, yeah, we have shitcoin, meme coin, but no, not that much. We have also all the stuff. And so I was like, fuck it. Yeah, we do have them. Come.
Mhm.
And that's also that's also what happened.
100%. Something else to point out. Binance Smart Chain, when the shitcoin season was happening, and this is the difference I believe between shitcoins and meme coins. People were blatantly scamming people with Binance Smart Chain,
I know.
saying they were promising token buybacks. They were going to be burning the tokens and giving to the kids. And they were making all these promises of how they were going to do change and good things in the world with these cryptocurrencies and making these false promises like Ethereum Max, EMAX, I think it was. They were promising the best blockchain in the world, but they didn't
Yeah.
build anything. It was just a
know.
big scam. And the big influencers like Kim Kardashian were pushing it. It was
I know that was crazy.
wild time. And then they all got prosecuted and got in trouble for it. But like they were a shit coin is a coin that like they're building and basically lying straight to your face. But when you go on the website of a lot of these meme coins, like Dog Whiff Hat, right? Whiff. If you go on it, it literally says this is just a dog with a hat. Like there's no other value behind this other than that. They're being honest.
Yeah.
So like that, like the shitcoin season, in my opinion, really hurt Binance Smart Chain.
Yeah.
Because anytime I would see a coin was built on Binance Smart Chain, I immediately wrote it off.
Yeah.
Because I was used to it's the environment. If the environment is in Binance Smart Chain is scam coins and shit coins, then I'm immediately gonna just it's on Binance Smart Chain, but I don't want to deal with it.
I agree. Yeah.
So it ruined like the image of Binance Smart Chain, in my opinion. For me, I can only speak for myself.
Same for me. I didn't go back on Binance Smart Chain since 2021.
Yep.
Because good project happened there, and they all migrate to now layer 2 or other blockchain. So, but yeah, back in the day, it was the biggest one,
Mm-hmm.
and then it went to Luna,
Mm.
Terra. We'll talk about that later. And then now it's like on Tron or Solana.
Mm-hmm.
But BSC is not the first blockchain, and Ethereum, of course. I don't talk about Ethereum because it's the
Yeah.
granddad. You know, it's
Yeah,
here
yeah.
forever.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you have other question?
Well, I guess then
We can
how
go back.
yeah, how do you
Oh, yeah, we went
decide
far.
what coin?
Yeah.
I was like, okay. No, it's okay.
We went down the rabbit hole.
How do you determine what coins to buy? Like, are there certain trends? Are there ways that you're like, oh, this would be a good investment? Or are you
Mhm.
blindly throwing money and hoping for the best? Like, how do you decide what to buy
So,
and how much to buy also?
yep. So, how do I decide what to buy? First thing I look at is what's the problem being solved. Just no different from a stock, right?
Mhm.
If you're analyzing a company, every company is on this planet because it solves a problem, right? There's no business out there that's here
Like-
that isn't solving a problem.
Can you talk about one of the token that you love,
Mhm.
and with like I'm gonna give you the token, and because I know you love a lot, and you'll be like, oh yeah, and you can give more example about this one.
Okay.
Karate.
Karate.
Sorry, my
So-
accent.
Karate.
I like karate But I'm also hesitant with karate at the same time, and I'll give
Oh,
you the reason.
okay,
I'll give you the reason.
go for it.
So karate has a really good real world use case.
Yeah, I agree.
They're creating a sports league of MMA, which is like one of the most viral, sports in the world. However, what they've done is they've actually created that they've made it more viral by getting rid of grappling. So some would argue that in MMA, the most boring part of it is when they're rolling around on the ground instead of up on their feet actually fighting.
Yeah.
So it's better for viewership for karate for them to build a new MMA league that doesn't actually allow grappling, and that you actually have to get back up on the ground because it's more action based. It's better for viewers, right? So for starters, they built a new like UFC that is a little bit more like viewer friendly, more exciting. It sparks our dopamine more, right? Is all they're trying to do. However, they also built crypto into this by creating an application. Now, when you go into the application, you're able to vote on the different fighters that you think are going to win. And in doing so, you can make money from it, but you also don't lose money from it. It's called up-only gaming,
Okay.
not gambling. I got to stay away from regulations.
Yeah.
So when you vote on a fighter, if you lose, you don't lose your money. You keep your money. So this then goes into, I like the problem that they're solving.
Yeah,
a lot.
It's awesome.
However, I don't like their tokenomics as far as like how many tokens can be out there and how much they get minted out. Like if you're creating a system to where you can only like make money, well, and you can't lose the money, well, is there any deflationary systems in place?
Yeah.
Is it only inflationary? How does that really work? And for that reason, I don't love it as like $1 billion market cap coin right now, but it's like a $20 million market cap coin right now. So
Yeah, it's
I believe that the attention that will come up from the karate gaming will outdo the poor tokenomics that I believe that it has. So for that reason, I like karate in like the short term because I think the attention it's such a low market cap coin. I think it's just going to explode. I mean, they had Joe Rogan at one of their events in Austin, Texas. They had like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, like on video talking about them.
Last time, if I remember, you were in Austin, right? Mm-hmm. And they had like a big event over there.
That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Okay. No, that was crazy. Like a lot of people were there, and I had this coin because you told me to buy it, so I bought it, and because it made sense. It made sense, and when I saw everything happening around it, I was like, oh, maybe I should buy more, because it's like, yeah, I agree. The attention level will be crazy. It's hard to face UFC now that they partner with like WWE, but I think they can do something. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so they've got a pretty cool thing that they've built there. So what I do is I just start by looking at the problem that they're solving, and I also will look at how relatable that problem is to the broader world as well. And then I'll check those boxes, and then I'll look at the team that's building it. Okay, well, yeah, they're solving a good problem that needs to be solved, but like, how do I know they're going to be successful with it? So you check the team, see what their experience has been like, and then you check the actual economics of the token. So then you're looking at it, you're like, oh, okay. So how many tokens can there be? How many are already out in circulation? Are there only 10% out in circulation? 90% still has to come into the into the market. What does that look like? So those are some initial factors that I take a look at, and then what I also will take a look at, which is kind of going a layer deeper, is what is the risk level associated with this coin. And there's multiple ways to do this, but one way that's very easy is to just know the infrastructure behind the coin, right? What is this built on, right? Is this built on Ethereum? Is this built on Arbitrum? Is this built on a layer 3 on top of Arbitrum, which is on top of Ethereum? Is this built on a random blockchain like that nobody really uses? Like, what does that look like? And this also lets you know the risk level, because if this is built on a blockchain that's built on top of a blockchain that's built on top of a blockchain, and that base blockchain is something that you've never heard of, well, in order for this project to succeed, all of those components need to also succeed. Unless they become chain agnostic and then they can build on multiple other blockchains, they can always like shift their code over to a new chain. They can always do that. But that's something very important to notice as well. So for example, if we knew that we can go back to a coin that we did really well on actually. Let's talk about, which one? Which one would be a good one? Pendle. Talk about Pendle.
Okay.
So Pendle is a DeFi token, which I will not explain all of it here because it'll be, it's very deep.
We have 2 hours left.
Okay. Yeah, it's very deep.
We're like the rest of the day.
I won't dive into all of how Pendle works, but essentially
like
they created a new like way for you to trade the yield of tokens, which is very interesting and never been possible before, only because blockchain technology is possible. But it's a new DeFi project, right? It's built on Arbitrum.
Mhm.
So there was like an Arbitrum season that took place last year where a lot of liquidity was flowing into Arbitrum. Well, we found Pendle and we're like, oh, okay, well, when money flows into Arbitrum first, well, then people need to go to the different applications that are built on Arbitrum. So then that allows you to know, okay, well, Arbitrum's gaining a lot of traction right now. So the applications that are built on top of Arbitrum will also follow suit. This is called narrative trading, which is what we really focus on with big crypto.
Yeah.
And that allows us to front run the attention because we know Arbitrum's picking up speed. So then what do people do? Arbitrum. Oh, there's a lot. What else is on here? What's built on here? Oh, this is here. So then that's another thing that you can do to kind of decide on what you're going to invest in is follow narratives. And a lot of narratives flow based on like different niches of cryptocurrencies or different infrastructures of cryptocurrencies. There's like the real world asset narrative. There's like AI narrative. There's decentralized physical infrastructure narrative. There's the different blockchain narratives. So there's a lot that goes into it. But the initial thing to be able to make sense of all of it is just to understand the infrastructure of how everything is built.
Yeah. I also feel it's like kind of like social media. Like what is trendy on one social media is not necessarily on the other one.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's big, for example, like AI, it's big everywhere, you know? But for example, meme coin right now, it's just on Solana. So let's say so it's just an example, just on TikTok, but it won't necessarily be on Instagram. It's just different. For me, that's how I see it. It's like, I love Gary Vaynerchuk. You know, he always talk about PAC, platform and culture. That's kind of that, right? It's like the platform is the blockchain, the culture is the culture of the blockchain. And it's pretty interesting to see that you can have Ethereum, for example, is like good, but for me, it's more for institutional, like boring, but powerful. Solana right now, it's like fun, you know? Yeah. BSC was very fun. And now it's like dead, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's kind of like, think about that. MySpace was fun back in the day. Now it's dead.
Yep.
You know? So I really feel it's like the blockchain are kind of replacing social media. It's a bad example, but
exactly what you mean.
in their way of attention.
Yes. I think that's a great, I like that.
Because what you say, it's right. Like, it's just the attention. Like, we can talk about now. I wanted to talk about it later, but remember about Terra. I love Terra deep down.
Yeah.
Like I was deep in that.
Yeah.
Because the process was so smart. The process was so good, and everything that was built on top of that. Like one of the best DeFi system that I found was on Terra. I don't remember the name because it's been 2 years and a lot of trauma, but it was. I'm going to tell you after why. But
Anchor?
Not Anchor. Anchor was amazing, but not Anchor. No, it was. I don't remember. I think it was starting with a P. You could buy with crypto. You could buy CFD, so mirror of stock. Do you remember that?
Mirror.
Do you think it was mirror?
Mirror.
Oh,
Yep.
maybe, but that was pretty good. So imagine you have crypto, and you could bet on the stock increase by not owning the stock and just in crypto. That was brilliant. And then you could have you could put in liquidity providing So you could have like earning on that.
Mm-hmm.
That was brilliant.
Yep.
That was so. Imagine you own Microsoft without owning it, but you can kind of stake it and make more money out of that, like dividend over dividends. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, and it also created a solution for people that were in parts of the world that didn't have access to the U.S. stock market.
Correct.
So, like, if you're over in Africa and you're trying to gain access to the financial system that Americans have access to, well, you can't do that. So then crypto is a solution for you, and this mirror protocol was one that allowed you to purchase these, U.S.-based stocks, but through cryptocurrency derivatives.
Yeah, for me that was the best blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
But RIP.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
Do you have other question about the surrendering of crypto?
Not on that specific end. I had like a different question on kind of a different end.
Just go.
Anyways, well, I was gonna ask. So, I guess as far as like your business is concerned, is it you trading or like you have like a community and stuff, right? So, can you like explain like what you do within your community and how that has, I guess, grown your business or?
And maybe before, how did you start?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember we meet each other on your Facebook group. You had a Facebook group on marketing agency, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Oh,
That-
wow.
Yeah, he gives
That's
me like
where
the
this started.
OG
That's
story. He's
right.
like, "This is
It
when
was
me
in
and Ryan met."
2019.
Yeah.
And I was just starting creating my marketing agency, and I remember I was in Orlando, but I was just traveling back then, and I was like, oh, I found like this group. It was like maybe 50%. That's the best group, by the way, when you don't have a lot of people, because you know people will answer you. So I text you, and you gave me like a lot of tips on marketing agency, and then we just kept in touch. Like every 6 months we were texting each other to see how it goes. And yeah, in 2021, you talked to me about big crypto, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. And I think I'm one of your first.
You are 100%. One of the very first.
I am. But yeah, like, how did you?
What's it like to be the number one fan?
I'm his number one fan. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm the same. So how did you go from marketing agencies, and I know you work in the marketing for a big guy too, in the US, to transitionate, from crypto,
Yeah.
going there.
So after graduating college, I started a few different businesses trying to figure stuff out. Because I was like, I don't really want to go to medical school.
Oh, was that what you were gonna do before?
That was the plan.
Oh
yeah.
wow, I didn't know this one.
It's like so far from anything you do now. That's why I'm like, what?
Oh my
I thought you
God.
like studied business or like finance or
No.
something like within the
Yeah.
realm. So okay.
I went to college at USF
Okay.
here in Tampa for a degree in biomedical sciences.
Wow.
Okay.
And got my degree. I did like all the organic chemistry, the physics. Like, all
Ladies,
those
Ryan can
classes.
do it all. Sorry, go on.
Stop it. And then ended up deciding I didn't want to go down that route. So then I started my first company, which was like a e-commerce athletic apparel business, and did not think that it would work, which is an interesting way to start a company. Started it.
I started it
and
because I
was
was pretty sure it would fail.
Well, because you're always told that like, yeah, your first business probably won't be the
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
right? So I started it with the intention of getting knowledge, right? I was like, I gotta jump in, I gotta get my feet wet, I gotta start doing things in this online business world if I'm gonna have an online business like that propels me into the future and like allows me to actually make money. So I just started because it was like the lowest barrier to entry for starting a company, which was like drop shipping, right?
Correct.
So I did that, had like no startup capital, didn't need startup, would have been helpful. And then for like ads and stuff. And then I was like, this isn't going too well. I don't even know what my margins are because I didn't even pay attention to doing the math for that. So, wow.
Yeah.
One way to run a business. So,
We all did
doing
the same.
that, I started like messing with chatbots. Like
Okay.
Facebook Messenger chatbots were starting to blow up and get really big. And I was like, oh, this is a path that I should explore more.
Yeah.
Facebook ads and chatbots. So then decided to shut down the athletic apparel business, MPF. And then I was like, well, let me take these like skills that I started to learn from running this and just create like a service-based business. I was like, I feel like I need money to have a successful product-based business.
Yeah.
I don't have money. What do I have? Well, I have time. So what if I just sell my time, and I don't need money to make that money. I just sell my time through my services. That makes way more sense. Why don't I just do that? So that's what I started doing. And wasn't like rocket ship right away or anything. Like it was tough to get it off the ground because I still didn't know what I was doing in business. I was just, my thought process was it's going to take me 6-7 years of medical school and a lot of debt to be able to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could just go try to figure out this business stuff for the next 6 to 7 years, not be in debt, and have a chance at the ultimate life that I feel like I could create for myself. So that's was my thought process that led me away from medical school. So then I ended up starting that. It was the Bot Doc. Was that, and I started a Facebook group because I saw other people doing it. I was like, this must be what to do. And I got some people in there, and that's where we met.
Yeah.
And then through that, I was bringing on some clients, and then ultimately was like, I don't think this is what I want to do. I don't like doing marketing for other people. I'd rather do marketing for my own business.
Yeah.
So then I ended up working with this guy named Tanner Chittister, who is very, very successful online business coach.
Everywhere on social media.
Yeah, he runs they've done over $100 million in their business for online coaching and consulting for online coaches and consultants. One of those coaching coaches kind of things. So I ended up leaving the business that I was running there to become a coach underneath him. Okay. And then he ended up like mentoring me, him and his brother Benson, while paying me, which was incredible. And then I kind of filled all the gaps that I had in online business there, and then started Big Crypto while I was working there, which they knew I was doing. And that it just kind of took off. And kind of how I started it was me and two of my friends, Yoni and John, we launched a Telegram community. I just started making a bunch of posts on Instagram during that 2021 bull market. I would make predictions, and they would happen. And people were like, "Oh shit, you know, you're doing."
Yeah, you're good.
Stuff.
You're good.
Yeah, okay. So then we were like, Telegram, $10 a month. So we started a Telegram group. And
so people pay to be in your
to get like
a subscription.
Signals.
Okay.
Yeah. Then they would get into that. They didn't get many people. I think we were making like $150, $200 a month.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh my god, people are buying. Wow, this is crazy. This is like our dream. This is what we wanted. And then we were like, all right, well, this is limited with Telegram. Let's move this to a Discord. Charge $20 a month.
Wow.
And then that's when Thomas joined.
Yeah.
He was at the Discord for the.
He said, "Give it to me premium."
Yeah.
No.
So he got in for that, and then we've expanded from then. Then we launched a course. And then we started off selling, 15 different slots for the course. It was $1,500, and then $2,000, then $2,500, and then we ended up creating a cleaner course after that to make it better. And that's what we have today. It's like 150 lessons in our course curriculum that we've created. And all of the coaching we did prior was more of like a group coaching setting without a full curriculum. And I did that intentionally because I wanted to get practice with coaching people before I build the curriculum.
And get the data also. What
works, what doesn't.
What do people need? How do I explain this in the best way? Because we're like pioneering education in a space that
no one does that. Yeah.
It's not a thing. So I couldn't go look at another course and really learn from that, other than like Binance courses and stuff like that. But it's not
boring.
Yeah, it's not structured in the way that I would want it to be structured.
Right.
So through getting practice with doing the group coaching and the one-to-one coaching with with the new people that came on at the very beginning, that gave us the skills necessary to create a full course curriculum to now offer what we now have, which is the Big Crypto Accelerator Program, which is our one-to-one coaching offer that's 4 months long, 150 lessons in the course curriculum, one-to-one coaching, group coaching calls during the week, and then the full Discord mastermind that we have, which we've iterated on for the last 3 years to...
He explained like crazy. When I joined, it was like three channels. Now it's like 100. I cannot count.
Wow.
No, it's not 100, but
way
it's a lot.
less. So we've systematized it in a way to have like updates channels, pro chat, and then we have like an ecosystem related chats for like each different, like we were talking about, like different blockchains.
Okay.
A blockchain is an ecosystem. that
Yeah.
there's a lot of applications built on top of the blockchain. Think of it like a decentralized app store. So if we were to compare it to the Web 2 world, iOS App Store is almost like, it's not a blockchain, but like comparatively, if you were to compare that to,
Yeah.
it's kind of a way to think of it. So Ethereum, simplest way for people to understand it, decentralized app store.
Okay.
Correct.
Got
The
it.
simplest explanation I've ever found. Ethereum and Solana are both decentralized app stores.
Got it.
We call it DApp,
Yeah, DApp.
so decentralized app. So
Yeah, so exactly.
exactly.
So decentralized
no,
app
it's exactly
stores.
that.
Yeah.
But no,
So-
what is good is the Discord. Like 100 is a bit too much, but
Yeah, I-
no, what is good is like every topic has its channel, so
Yep.
you cannot go wrong. That's why it's very good. And of course, I have my favorites because every time I want to look at something, I get there. But my favorite will be Endless Airdrop.
Endless airdrop channel.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It is the one that make me the most of my money. So
100%, dude.
that is crazy.
Dude, we've gotten at least $70,000 in airdrop money.
Last year, right?
Wow.
What we've posted in that channel.
Just last year, or
Last year and to now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since we created that channel, I'd say.
I think it might be it might be correct. Like just for me, I think it might be correct based because it's like airdrop. It's based on sometimes the volume that you put.
Yep.
So for example, if you have like a $1 million wallet that I don't, you will create a lot of volume, so you will get more eligible and make more money. But the thing is that like you, I'm sure I missed some opportunity.
Yeah, I did too.
The biggest that
Yoni caught all of them.
I know.
Yoni's ahead of the research. He's the one that keeps everybody on top of things.
Oh,
I'm
really?
I'm the business side
Okay.
of the crypto, and Yoni's the research side.
the ninja side.
The ninja side.
Oh, so Yoni's already like
Is
on it.
Yoni's like, yeah, I think that Twitter and like CoinDesk and all these different crypto resources, I'm pretty sure they have like an insert in his brain.
Yeah.
So it's just like feeding to his brain. He doesn't even have to look at his phone. It's just like downloads.
He knows
Oh my
about
God.
everything. He knows about
Yeah, I
everything.
know.
Is honestly,
He really does know everything. I'm like, I ask
It's
him
like-
something and he's like, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
really.
hold
no,
on.
it's so good. And I don't know if you had this airdrop. I missed it because I was very busy on another project. Aptos.
I missed it.
Okay, so Aptos, it was an airdrop, and
Wait, can you explain what an airdrop is real quick for anyone
Yeah,
who
go
doesn't
for
know
it.
what that is?
Yes. So there are a lot of different types of cryptocurrencies that are out there. A cryptocurrency, well, not all of them, meme coins, they have utility behind them, which is something very interesting that's different from stocks, right? When you buy a stock, you buy it because the value that you get from it is the price appreciation that you hope to gain.
Mhm.
However, cryptocurrencies actually have 2 points of reasons why you buy them. There's the utility that you actually get from the cryptocurrency and the potential price appreciation. Because these decentralized applications, well, they need the cryptocurrencies to help run the applications, right? So just like how Fortnite V-Bucks, you have to have the V-Bucks to buy certain things in the game. Just wanted to point out that's like one of the things I really like about cryptocurrency, that there's 2 reasons to buy it: price appreciation and the actual utility of the token.
Okay.
So one of the utilities for cryptocurrencies is called a governance token. Now, to explain this further, so we know that the crypto world is all about decentralizing the internet,
Mhm.
right? So when we decentralize the internet, we also can create decentralized businesses. These are called DAOs, a decentralized autonomous organization. I'll explain that real quickly. So a typical company structure is the CEO and then other C-level executives and then the team that develops and manages the community and does all of that stuff to build the actual product for the company. And then there's the community that actually will
buy.
benefit from what they've
Yeah.
built, right? The project, the solution, the customers, right? So that's the typical structure of a normal business, right? A DAO, on the other hand, doesn't have a CEO or like C-level executives that are
Okay.
telling the people that are running the company what to do.
Mhm.
They instead have the community. So the community votes on proposals and creates proposals to make improvements to the product that has been created. So imagine if Instagram, instead of Instagram having a CEO and a core team, a board that's deciding on what the next upgrade is going to be to change us from chronological to the algorithmic,
Mhm.
whatever, What if instead we, the people, voted on that?
Right.
And then we passed a proposal that said, hey, we want this upgrade on Instagram. Well, then the developers and the community managers and all of them would go to work to build that solution, and then the community would gain the finalized product of that. So it's community, company, community,
Got
as
it.
opposed to hierarchy of higher ups in the company,
Mm-hmm.
full company, community.
Right.
So it's community-led business is
Got
what it
it. Okay.
essentially is. But now the question that comes into consideration is, how do we decide on who can vote?
Right. And what is worth doing
Yeah.
versus
and what's-
or what's a
exactly.
stupid idea, what's really actually going to be beneficial. Like
Exactly.
we can't just be out here changing things
Yeah.
all the time.
And the people are able to decide on what is worth doing and what's not. But we need a system that allows us to know who has the right to vote. We
Mhm.
can't just have any Tom, Dick, and Harry voting on what our company should do.
Mhm.
So that's where something called governance tokens comes into place, which is a utility that can be baked inside of a cryptocurrency. If you own a governance token, like Arbitrum, for example, is a
Mhm.
layer 2 built on top of Ethereum. Arbitrum has the ARB token. If you own the ARB token, you can vote on the proposals and create new proposals to help decide on improvements for the company of where to go next.
Mhm.
Where do we put the treasury money towards? Where do we develop on this new? Do we give a grant to here? Like, what do we do? So the question then arises: how do they decide who gets these governance tokens? Well, thanks to blockchain technology, we can look at all of the different people that have performed certain actions with Arbitrum, the network. How many people have performed X amount of transactions? How many people have done this much volume in transactions on Arbitrum? How many people have transferred between Ethereum to Arbitrum, have bridged X amount of tokens between them? There's all these different actions that can be tracked,
Mhm.
kind of like Facebook ads. So Facebook determines, like a marketer on Facebook can determine who they want to market to based on interests. And these interests are tracked because Facebook put their Facebook pixel on, gave their Facebook pixel, which is a
Everywhere.
tracking data
Mhm.
like system, to companies all over the world to put their tracking pixel on the website. And that then allows Facebook to get the data of everybody that goes to all these external websites to track everybody's interests and behaviors. And then they compile that data and they give that to marketers so that they can use that data to target that 64-year-old woman that lives on the coast of Florida that has 2 kids that just wants to buy cat food
Mhm.
so that they can sell cat food to her,
Mhm.
right? Well, blockchain data gives us a similar ability, but without actually compromising the data of who that person is,
Okay.
because that data is attached to a wallet address, not an actual individual,
I
which
see.
maintains the privacy.
Got
So
it.
now the Arbitrum can now look at who's interacted with their application, with their blockchain, and say, well, these people have shown that they're diehards of using the Arbitrum blockchain with all these different decentralized applications that they put money into and utilized. Well, something's telling me that they're going to be a good person to airdrop our governance tokens to, because we don't want to just send it to anybody, because if we do, well, they might vote on the wrong things.
Mhm.
Yes.
And that's another reason why they can't just sell their governance tokens. Because if they just sell their governance tokens to the open public, they risk, centralization of having a 51% attack with their
Right.
tokens is one thing. And then the other thing, which is a whole other topic, and then the other thing is they risk the tokens being owned by the wrong people that aren't the right people to vote on the direction that the company goes in. So, of course, they can't control who buys and sells it at the end of the day. But what they can do is they can control who the initial holders of the token is to increase the chances that their DAO is successful with the managing of the decisions.
Correct.
So does that make sense
Yeah.
of an airdrop?
And,
Yeah.
and also what I discover the past 2 years is like some projects will do airdrop just for communication.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because, like, imagine if someone will give you money, you will talk about that
Yep.
to your friend.
Oh, of course.
Like, hey, I got free money from this. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like
Yeah.
a way of being known. So that's pretty useful. But to come back to this Aptos, so Aptos was like a blockchain, if I'm correct. I never use it. So
Yeah.
and they had an airdrop. Your only task was to create an account with your Gmail address. I mean, no, email address. I have friends that create, I think, 300 addresses. He gained like 500,000 just with this airdrop.
Oh my
Because
God.
because you don't know, like you don't know the value of the token you
Right.
get. Imagine you get 10 token, but 10 token will be what, 50 cents or 2,000.
Mhm.
And I think it was a pretty high airdrop because the token was worth like every airdrop was like 2 grand kind of.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. It's like what we're talking before recording is that when I opened my wallet in front of you and you saw I had like airdrop from it was Jupe and I think it was another wormhole.
Wormhole.
That was
yeah.
those two were
Yeah, that's a
one
big
of
one.
yeah, exactly. And I got like 15 to 20 grand, I don't remember. Just by because I used Solana back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I was like free money, you know?
Mhm.
And it's because you get volume. And so then you have like a rough strategy. If you keep it, you sell it.
100%. And that what you talked about there is actually something called Sybil farming, which is actually a big problem in the crypto world, because technically, like, in a perfect world, one wallet address belongs to one person from a business perspective, right? For these companies, it's not in their best interest to airdrop 300 wallets that are all owned by one person,
Right.
because that doesn't really promote as much decentralization for
No.
the first part,
Yeah.
and it also doesn't increase like the word of mouth spread, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if one person's 300 wallets, that's 300 people that could have got that airdrop that aren't talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because when you give people free money, they're like, what the fuck? Free money?
Right.
Oh, let me go tell everybody.
That's
Exactly.
crazy.
Obviously.
So that's called Sybil farming,
Okay.
SYBIL. And that is something that a lot of projects will actually, they're catching on to create systems to prevent that, to prevent what's called Sybil attacks. So there's actually some airdrops that will cancel you out if they notice you're trying to do Sybil farming. So if you're going to do Sybil farming, you have to have a strategy
Yes.
to secure yourself.
Got it.
And that's where big crypto
No,
is.
no.
No, but like so basically in big crypto Discord, that is my best channel, because also it's very good to discover new project, because some can be huge. Like Arbitrum, for example, became huge. I missed this one.
He's
but-
still a little bitter about it.
Yeah, because like it's
Well, yeah, of course,
Okay.
if it's going to be a big payout or something, you're like,
Yeah.
damn, I missed
Yeah.
it. Of course, it's going to suck.
like, I have this talk with her. It's that I really feel stupid on Instagram. The post like, oh, if you would have bought like Bitcoin at $1, you will be worth
Oh,
now.
yeah.
No, you won't, because when it will be reaching $3, you would have said everything, because
Yep.
we human, right? Time 3, it's like, yeah, it's good for engagement, those posts.
Mhm.
I love them.
Yeah.
But it's just that human are humans.
Yep.
Nobody was like, oh, I'm gonna hold it forever, except the Bitcoin maximalists. But that's another
Yeah.
story. Like if you have like one token, one stock, one house that triple, you're like, maybe.
What's good about now?
yeah,
man?
like, I think I did pretty good.
Exactly. So that's why it's like very, very funny, those people that say that. So it's always easy to go back in time and be like, oh, if I knew, like, for example, Arbitrum, if I knew it would be that big, I would have done everything. Same for ZK. I was not eligible. I would have done everything.
If you knew the future for everything, you would never lose
course.
any money. You would
Yeah.
be
Of
like,
course.
I'm going to wait because this is going to go up. so-
Exactly. But you never know. So that's why every small details can count.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I found myself farming to get points on stuff and I don't know what it will be worth.
And it gives you $50.
Yeah, and sometimes
Sometimes.
50K.
Yep.
You don't know.
Yeah. That's the worst part about it.
I know,
It's
I
like
know.
such a
Feels weird.
range.
I know. Do you have other question based on that?
I don't think. I think you have
I-
like
I
juicy
have-
technical.
It's
I
not,
know we have like
it's not
20
juicy
minutes.
and technical. Yeah, we have 20 minutes more. So
I have like one more, but that
Okay.
we can conclude with that. So you can
Okay.
ask yours.
no, it's like quick question. You can just answer in one sentence. So
Rapid fire.
yeah, like
Pressure.
what
7
was
words.
your craziest move in crypto?
craziest move in crypto?
Yeah. or the dumbest? Up to you. Or the best? That depends.
Craziest move in crypto was, I hate to say this, it was buying Voyager, VGX.
Oh yeah.
At 7 cents or 14 cents and selling it at $7.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And then
a
it
good
went
return.
back to 7 cents.
That was pretty smart. I'm gonna answer from me, and you're gonna make fun of me, but my craziest move is that May 12th, 2022, UST is depegging 0.88. I'm like, all in, baby. It's gonna repeg. I bought I think I bought $4,000 back then. It never repegged. So basically, UST was like a stable coin, so it's always
Stable. It's
stable.
an unstable.
Yeah. UST, unstable coin.
Hidden in plain sight.
Exactly. So basically, it always have and always will be $1.
Until you put your money there and,
And
it
so at some point he
I
has
was waiting for you to put your money.
and so sometime it can depeg. So sometime it can have like a system error or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you know it's stable, you're like, oh, this is an opportunity. So it was 0.88 cents. So I put money to be like, it will go back to 1.
Yep.
It never-
Arbitrage.
Yeah, it never did. Okay.
It never did.
I think I know this answer, but what is your biggest regret with crypto?
Biggest regret with crypto?
Ryan's like, no regrets. You know that tattoo.
A controllable one is not unstaking my Luna sooner.
Same.
Dude, we called it in the Discord that Luna looked like it was topping out.
Yeah.
So if we search it in our Discord, it's a beautiful thing about Discord. We can search all the plays that we've ever
Mhm.
said.
Mhm.
And you can see that we said that we're selling Luna before it crashed over $100. It was like $120 we called it.
Yeah.
I put in my unstake to start to unstake. And it takes 30 days to unstake.
21, no?
Was it 21?
It
Might have
was,
been 21.
it was 21 days, yeah.
21 days for it to unstake. Trauma. You just block it out.
I
Yeah.
know. I know.
And I think I had 5 days left for it to unstake before everything just plummeted to zero.
Yeah.
But now, granted, I bought Luna at like $6. So
Yeah, same.
like, it's a regret, but at the same time, like I bought it at $6 and I wrote it up to 120. So
It's unrealized profit.
yeah,
That's what we
yeah,
say.
it was unrealized.
In Anchor, so it was a protocol of this blockchain.
Anchor. Ooh.
Anchor, yeah, I had 100,000.
Oh,
Biggest regret would be for like the main biggest regret would be to not discover Bitcoin sooner. But at the same time,
that's exactly
but at the same time,
yeah.
like
controllable one. Was what I was
yeah,
talking about.
because at the same time the infrastructure were not there, right? So I discovered like you in 2017. I think it was the really beginning.
Yeah. Well, that was the first altcoin bull run in history, that was like the birth of cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
like the market,
Mhm.
right? Before it was, if you look, because you can actually, since it's all on the blockchain, you can go and check the data. You can see that 99% of the cryptocurrency market cap was comprised of Bitcoin
Mhm.
Mhm.
before, like, I think like before 2017.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
then it dropped down to like 50%. It was like an altcoin super cycle. It was crazy.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's healthy. I think we kind of answer to this one, but what is your big belief? Like what would believe the most in crypto and turned out to be wrong? Like I just said it. I think you know now.
Luna.
Luna.
That was one, yeah. And I did some digging into that because that was an algorithmically backed stablecoin, right?
Yeah.
Which to bring the audience into the picture a little bit more, UST was like revolutionary because one problem with the cryptocurrency world is that stablecoins are fairly centralized because what keeps what's the backing of these stablecoins? Well, it's typically a centralized treasury that's owned and operated by a company.
You need to have like to get one USDC, for example, that is a stable coin, you need to have $1.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like super centralized, and also like USDC, it's owned by Circle. Circle is like BlackRock, right?
Goldman Sachs.
Oh, okay.
So it's
I
not.
think BlackRock is involved now.
Yeah,
in some
yeah, they have
way.
like not all of it, but 20 or
Yeah.
10%. So it's not decentralized at all.
Yeah.
It's super centralized. So that's why.
So then UST came out, which works on like an algorithmic stablecoin with like a seesaw mechanism with the token Luna.
Mhm.
So if UST goes below a certain level, then Luna will sell into UST to buy pressure to bring UST back up. And same thing in the opposite direction. If UST goes above peg, well, that created a problem to where a lot of people just shorted the heck out of UST or in a certain moment, and then that brought the peg down. And then as the peg started to just drop drastically, Luna printed to infinity, which then just destroyed the value of Luna because the supply of Luna was through the roof, which is what brought it from $120 down to zero. Now, had I would have been more well versed in history of money, this is something that I dove into afterwards, I would have been more aware of something called Black Thursday, I think it was, maybe Black Wednesday.
It was this.
Yeah,
I
it
remember
was called
because
Black Thursday,
yes.
which was when George Soros shorted the sterling pound with a large sum of money. And in doing so, it more context, the sterling pound, the like, I guess the English or British, they decided that they were going to try to hold peg with the Deutschmark. And George Soros was like, well, that's not going to be possible. So then he shorted it because he saw a problem in it. And then obviously summarizing it. And then a lot of large institutional banks saw that the price dipped a little bit. So what did that do? That told all the other banks that there was a weakness within this peg.
Yeah.
If one company could go and short it with a lot of money and it does that, well, there's opportunity here.
Mhm.
This is weak. We can blast through this and just create a short selling opportunity and make a shitload of money. And that's exactly what happened. It completely crashed the sterling pound and was a similar situation as what happened with Luna, which I didn't know that side of finances.
It's advanced economics.
Yeah, it's advanced. It is. It's very advanced economics, but I didn't know about that. And had I been more aware of the possibility of something like that, I might have been able to foresee a problem with UST. So that's something I went and studied. You know, I can only change one thing, which is what do I do because of what happened.
Oh, same. Like
You know?
for me, I was also in my mind that I was very against people that saying, "Oh, UST is like a Ponzi scheme." I'm like, it's not. Anchor is. That's different. You know, that's a protocol versus a currency. That's different. But yeah, like I think what happened in that time is that they transfer a pool with UST in it from curve 2 to curve, I think it was curve 3.
Yep.
And I think we
Triangle.
don't know, of course, but it's like Citadel or like a big one that didn't. We don't know.
I heard rumors that it was related to SBF.
Would make a lot of sense now.
Good.
SBF is Sam Bankman-Fried. He was the owner of, FTX. You heard about FTX.
Yeah.
That was. I'm glad I never put money in that.
I didn't have any money in it.
Yeah,
either.
same. This one, I'm glad.
We preached no centralized exchanges.
Yeah,
We use centralized exchanges like a public restroom. You get in, you do your business, and you get out.
That's a very good comparison. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yes.
So that's funny. That's exactly what I'm doing. I really go there, pee, or sometimes I poop, and I just go back. That's very good. Okay, I got like.
You could have just left it out right instead of like do your business and call it a day.
I like the visual. It's important.
Better
Yeah,
to
yeah.
explain and to give images. I got the best question that everybody asks you when you talk about crypto. I want to ask it to you because it's so dumb. Ryan, what is your projection for the end of 2024 for Bitcoin price? I love this one because
Shit, I don't know. Let me throw something random out there.
yeah.
So let me explain the reason why it's difficult to project,
Yeah.
right? The reason it's difficult to project is because the market is so immature. It's so immature. So like we can have the most incredible news take place. Like what if we had BlackRock buy 1% of Bitcoin? And then what if we had, ETFs launch around Bitcoin? What if we had ETFs get approved with Ethereum? What if all of these happened? What would that do to the price? Well, it all just happened.
Yeah.
And price is still staying at 60,000-ish. We're 54,000 right now today of this podcast.
Let me check.
So all this crazy stuff is happening in crypto. But the level of knowledge that people have around cryptocurrency is so small that it doesn't even register to them how big this shit is.
Yeah.
So that creates this lag time to where it's the price that actually, what draws attention to the crypto markets is price going up, which is why we see such a parabolic nature in price when it does eventually go up. It's because people are like, oh, price is going up. Oh, it's happening again. Oh, I got to jump in. I got to buy it. And then they buy it.
I never understood that.
Yeah.
Buy high, sell low.
That doesn't make sense.
That's how you lose money.
Yeah.
But that's what people do because they don't understand the markets. People see quick money fast.
I know.
And they know, oh, all I got to do is get a Coinbase account and I just got to buy it. It's very quick and easy. Coinbase has made it very simple. So the barrier to entry to buy is low. But now, didn't used to be. But people aren't paying attention to the stuff that is right in front of their face that is so just painting the picture on the wall. It's like, hey, BlackRock just bought 1% of the entire supply of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They're the largest asset manager in the world. They own large percentages by large percentage, 5%, of Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon. They control basically the world.
Yeah.
And they just bought 1% of all Bitcoin in circulation. And all the Bitcoin price has done is go up to where it's just sitting at all-time highs, just hanging out.
Yeah.
I know.
People just don't see it. And they have to become educated to understand it in order to really see what's going on. Because there's such a lack of trust in centralized entities even. To where even when they hear BlackRock's done this or, Apple's done this or Microsoft done this, I personally feel like the trust has been so ruined with a lot of these big companies to where they're just oh, well, they're just trying to scam me too.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I saw I think it was yesterday when I was preparing the question is that I saw a guy say oh, Bitcoin's going to reach 100,000 by August. I'm like, man, there is no way. So to reach right now it's 57. I checked 57. To reach 100, it's basically double, a little bit less, but double. So you need to double the market cap. I'm just going to give you a number. The market cap, it's 1.13.
1.1.
So you need to have 2.26. Come on.
Yeah.
In 1 month, it's not possible. So that's why I love to ask this question to you because I know
I can see
cannot
it.
predict.
I could see us breaking 6 figures. It could happen in December.
Yeah. I really feel
possible.
by 2025 would be good. But so funny because when you go too deep on Twitter, I try to not do that, but you see oh, Bitcoin by 2050 will be 1 million. Oh, calm down. We don't know. We don't know. But yeah, linked to that, my last question would be what is for you? Because we all know that Bitcoin is amazing in all of aspects. And I must say Bitcoin, it's crypto in general. But the main problem that has Bitcoin, if you want to compare to AI, that everybody could use it, what would make people use crypto like this and be relevant on day-to-day basis? Because honestly, on day-to-day basis, just you, me use crypto, because we are kind of geek on crypto. But for example, Neha, that never. Do you have a Coinbase account? Yeah, you don't. You don't even.
A what account?
Coinbase? You don't even have that. No. Exactly. What would make, for example, a normal person use crypto on a day-to-day basis? And not only crypto, but for me, when the NFT trend happened, for me, I was like, it's the best creation on earth. For example, like the best example I got, it's like you you build a house, you sell it, and you still keep like, well, let's say 5% of the royalties because you bought it. And for me, just for that, it's the best use case that you can have. And every time the house getting sold, you get money. Like same for art, right? Real art, not like not like the pingu or the the ape. But you know, like what for you will be the thing that will trigger the fact that anybody can use it?
I love this question.
It's better than the price prediction.
The before I'll leave you on a cliffhanger and I'll explain the
Oh,
cliffhanger.
I love that.
afterwards. If we, the people, the humans of this world, don't pick up on it and start to like adopt it as being the new normal, then artificial intelligence will do it for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll explain that. But as far as the people side of things, it depends on the problem that the person needs to have solved, right? So, for example, we've got schools over in El Salvador which have Bitcoin classes. So they're like literally in primary school teaching people about Bitcoin because it's now legal tender in El Salvador. Same thing with the Central African Republic.
Uh-huh.
They also have schools teaching people about Bitcoin because it's legal tender. It's like
and they don't have bank over there.
yeah,
so.
and they don't have banks. So like for somebody like in these parts of the world, the primary use case that they might think of is Bitcoin. And the reason for that is because they don't have a solution for holding money conveniently that's separate from the inflationary,
Right.
fiat currency of their government. They can't trust the El Salvador peso or whatever they have. So they're like, well, we got to ditch this. This is better to be used to just fuel the fireplace.
Yeah.
We're making that's more value than what we're losing on a regular basis. So let's go to Bitcoin. And a lot of people don't want to be tied to the US dollar anymore because they see all of the problems going on with that. So then where do they go? Well, probably not going to go to the yen, right?
I mean, we can't legally we can buy yen, but it's not the real yen that's China
really?
exchange. Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
It's just only Chinese people that can do that. So no matter what you can buy as yen, it's not the real one.
Huh.
So we cannot buy ruble.
The Russian rubles.
Yeah, do you say like that in English?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We cannot buy that. So basically, we are left with so many choices. I mean, so few choices. Sorry, we have like Swiss franc that is powerful, and the dollar. For me, they are top two right now, and then it's like
Well, and
crypto.
there's not even, and this is another interesting thing. There's not even enough Swiss francs to go around the entire
Right.
world.
Correct. That's the other
The
point.
supply of Swiss francs is so low.
Exactly.
So like, but this is a very interesting thing. What if Swiss francs were more fractional?
Mm-hmm.
What if you could have more than 1 penny of a Swiss franc or whatever it's called, one
Maybe
one
let's say
100th of a Swiss
yeah,
franc?
Yeah.
it's like
Like,
penny.
What if you could do that? Well, then you solve the problem of low supply, but access to everybody.
And high demand.
And then that's exactly what Bitcoin did. That's why we only have 21 million of them. But you can have, what is there, 1 million Satoshis
I don't know.
inside of a Bitcoin? I think.
I don't know, but
I should know this.
it's a lot of numbers
Normally
after
know
the
this.
comma.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So that allows us to solve the problem of low supply, but high access to everybody in the whole world. Which Swiss francs, we can't do that. We can't use, so that rules out Swiss francs, because if we do try to get everybody in the world to have Swiss francs, what happens to the value of it? Plummets, because we have to print more of it,
Correct.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves us with one choice: Bitcoin,
Mm-hmm.
which is very interesting.
It is.
So that's why we're seeing countries like El Salvador start to adopt it. So to go back to your original question, the problem that needs to be solved by the individual will be the first use case that brings crypto to mass adoption, and that's going to be in different parts of the world, different solutions, because they're all going to have different problems. I can see video games being a very good streamlined use case for people in the United States.
Mhm.
Governance tokens, I think, is a great use case that is easy for people to understand once they get into DAOs and once they get deeper into crypto. But I think that if more people understood the problems of centralized ownership of digital assets, like then NFTs could start to blow up.
Right.
If that story with Mixed Skillet and CS:GO spread across the entire world, like that is such an easy, tangible example of why we need digital assets.
Yeah.
If that story spread across the entire world like wildfire, the entire perception of crypto in general and NFTs would turn on its head.
Yeah.
That story's so powerful.
Mhm.
I personally believe that story is like a Trojan horse
Yeah.
to infiltrate the minds
Oh,
of
yeah.
people to understand why we need Web3.
Yeah.
So if more people can spread that, what I said earlier, like minute like 10, go back there and send that to a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's true though. That's a great way of like looking at it. It's more, I think people get scared of this decentralized notion, but the way that you've kind of explained everything, I feel like makes it seem like, oh, actually it makes a lot more sense and you have a lot more control and, you know, in a way you feel better about it.
I think also it's the problem that we have in our society. It's like we give too much power to big corporations. And so now when we talk about like getting the right back to own your assets in your life, people are scared of that because they give like the responsibility to other people. And some people, they're like, oh, you know, I don't mind like not having like a company having all my details. But we saw like in a lot of cases that it can be problematic, and it's better to have your own solution. That was very interesting to see, like that. You know, my question for me was like, it will happen one time everywhere in the world, but for you it was like more case to case. Like it's interesting. Like there is a big use case that will be very powerful. I don't know if you know this token. It's caps. Caps. Yes, like the name of the company is Ternoa. It's a French company, and what they want to do is like put on the blockchain a temporal capsule.
A time capsule.
Yeah, sorry, time capsule. And I feel this will be a good use case for families, for companies, for countries. I think it would be cool. Right now, the project is super small, but I think those type of like use cases will be very good. More and more, because blockchain, you can store data.
Yeah, I could see it being like an unlimited cloud type situation.
Yeah.
Like never running out of cloud storage. You know, you want to keep, like what you said, like time capsule almost. So you could keep family memories, stuff like that are all within your specific
and
then you just always have access to that.
And what is good is that's why we were joking before recording, is that, you know, when people say, oh yeah, like Bitcoin is for drug dealers. No, dummy, it's the opposite, because everything it's written in the blockchain. It's like an open book where every time a transaction happens, you know that, for example, Ryan sent me like $2. Like it's kind of, you know, we kind of have that on Venmo. When you have friend, you know, you can see, I mean, you don't know the amount, but you saw friends sending money to someone. It's that, plus you know the amount.
Yep.
And you know all the transaction fees, you know everything. So it's, of course, you don't know like this address is Ryan's Red, for example. But if you know that, you know everything.
Yep.
And so some people lack of knowledge on crypto by saying, oh, it's for drug dealer. It was the case maybe in 2015. Yeah. But it's not the case anymore. To finish
real quick. One of our new clients in Big Crypto is actually launching a time capsule company.
Awesome.
Called My Empower AI. So MI and then EMPOWER AI.
That's awesome.
Yeah. myempower.com is the website. So
I will.
There's a lot of like time capsule stuff popping up.
Yeah, cool. I will talk to him because Ternoa is French, and I think there was like 1 billion or something. There was a lot of money.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like
I'll connect you with them.
I think yeah. I mean, I don't know them, but I know people that work with them, so that could be very interesting. But to finish, I want to tell you something. I have a friend that is super young. He's like maybe 20 years old, and he worth right now 300 million. You know how?
How?
Because in 2011 he was filling up CAPTCHA, and back in the day when you were filling up CAPTCHA, you could earn up to 5 Bitcoin.
From doing captchas.
Yeah, in
Because
2011.
they were training the
Yeah,
model.
exactly. But it was in 2011 when Bitcoin was like what, 30 cents,
Yeah.
less than $1, and so for me
Good
that's my
Lord.
best story.
Oh my
And the
gosh.
guy now is like living off like lending, staking,
Mm-hmm.
and he's doing a little bit of trading, right? But he's just like
That's insane.
super rich, 20 years old,
From
amazing.
doing captchas.
Uh-huh.
That's insane. So
That's-
that's how they trained those things.
That's-
Some kid was sitting there collecting his
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
That's how they started, and now they're like, oh, we're gonna do it for free. And imagine the amount of CAPTCHA you fill up in your life. Imagine if you would be paid 5 Bitcoin.
Could have been paid for that the whole time.
That's insane.
Yeah, but it was like edgy website. It was not all the websites, but some website that were like paying you in Bitcoin. When how you knew in 2011 to get a wallet, a Bitcoin wallet? How was that a thing?
I don't know
Oh, I
how
don't even know.
people found out about it back then, to be honest with you.
that was crazy.
It's
But
word of mouth.
that was the best story I have, to be like anything impossible with internet.
Yeah.
You know?
So it was the developers that were like on top of that stuff, that are like in those like forums and whatnot, that are able to like,
Exactly.
which makes sense, that the people building the future, because
Mhm.
the future's online, because it doesn't have, you know, the limits of physics,
Yeah,
right?
that's insane.
It would make sense that they would have the new information.
Do you want to ask your last question?
Oh, we already answered it. So
Okay, that's
yeah, I was
perfect.
just gonna. I'm like, I think we're out of time, so I was gonna
Yeah, no, I think
wrap
we-
up.
I think it was pretty good.
Yeah, this was. Thank you, Ryan,
Yeah,
for
absolutely. So much.
This
That
was
was
awesome.
joining us.
This was a fun conversation.
For those of you guys who are listening in that want to know more about crypto, obviously, I would join. I'm sorry. What's the name again for the
Big crypto.
Big Crypto?
BIG.
Yeah, VIG, Big Crypto.
Yeah, we're gonna put the link below.
Yeah, we'll put the links for Ryan and all of his materials if you guys want to do his course. You guys want to learn all about crypto. I mean, obviously, you guys heard Ryan knows literally anything you need to know about crypto. He's your guy. So yeah, thank you for sharing everything.
Of
And this is like
course.
very
Yeah, that was
informational, so-
awesome to
Yeah.
have like more like easy knowledge, I would say.
Yeah, like an
to
easier
spread-
explanation because you
Yeah.
Google it and it's like there's so many different
Yeah.
terms and stuff that are like
That's
thrown at
One
you
of the
that
problems with the space is that like we have gigabrains trying to explain it to people that
Right.
have no idea what they're talking about.
That's true.
Right.
And when you learn so much about something, many times you forget what it was like to not know anything at all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like I'm good at explaining, is because I still remember all the things that I didn't understand
Mhm.
at the beginning. So
Yeah.
I'm able to teach from that perspective.
No, and also what I love with big crypto, it's you have that. Like you have, for example, Yoni, that is a giga brand for me.
Yes.
But at the same time, he
Yeah.
explained it so easily. And what I love, it's like what you said, it's narrative trading.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only one that I heard talking about that, and it's so true, because most of the time you make money, it's based on the narrative.
Yep.
Like if you want to talk about stocks, like I think it was 2022, Meta just crashed, and I went back up because the narrative was not there, and now it is. Same with Apple. Like everybody was like, "Oh, Apple is late with AI." Boom, they present Apple Intelligence
Yep.
AI,
Yep.
and boom, it skyrocket narrative, and
Yep.
it's so important. You don't need to be a trader to make money. You just need to know and have
Understand
knowledge.
market psychology, because it's psychology that drives the market.
Right.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And
Thank you
you.
so much for having me.
and we're gonna do like a V2 like in few months, few
Let's do
years
it.
to get
Yeah.
the update.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
So